Clem was the only child of his mother, and they shared an unbreakable bond. His father had passed away when Clem was just a little boy, leaving his mother to raise him alone. She loved him deeply and made sure to give him all her attention. The two were inseparable, often sitting together to share stories and laughter. Clem's mother loved telling him tales from the olden days, especially folktales, and Clem would laugh at the funny ones while making sure his mother was always happy. Clem worked hard to support his mother. He ran a small business selling meat in the village market, and with the money he earned, he took care of her needs. Despite the challenges, they were content with their simple life and enjoyed each other's company. For years, Clem had been secretly dating a young woman named Judith. They had been together for 7 years, but Clem hadn't yet told his mother about their relationship. Clem and Judith were deeply in love and spent many hours together in Clem's neat little shop, talking, laughing, and sharing their dreams. One day, Clem took Judith to a beautiful garden to talk about their future. As they walked hand in hand, Clem said, "Judith, I'm so grateful to you for waiting for me all these years and for staying faithful. I know many suitors have come to ask for your hand, but you chased them away because of me. You have shown me so much love and patience, and now it's time for me to honor you. This year we are getting married." Judith's eyes lit up with joy. "Are you serious, Clem?" she asked excitedly. "Yes, my love," Clem replied with a warm smile. "I will introduce you to my mother tomorrow. I want her to meet the woman who has stolen my heart." Overwhelmed with happiness, Judith hugged Clem tightly. "Thank you, Clem," she said. "Finally, after all these years, our love will take the next step. I love you so much." As the sun set over the garden, the couple sat together, dreaming about the future they would soon share. Little did they know the next day would bring its own surprises. The next day, Clem brought Judith to meet his mother. He was excited to introduce the woman he loved, but things didn't go as planned. When Clem's mother saw Judith, her face twisted with anger. "Clem," she said firmly, "you can never marry this lady. She looks like someone who will beat her husband." Clem was shocked. "No, Mom, Judith is harmless. She's a good person. I have known her for 7 years. I don't care how long you have known her." His mother snapped. "What I'm saying is final. You will not marry this idiot." Hearing this, Judith was heartbroken. She ran out of Clem's house, tears streaming down her face. When she got home, she locked herself in her room and cried bitterly. "After 7 years of my life wasted," she sobbed. "I turned away so many suitors because of Clem, and now I am laughing stock of the village. How could his mother say I look like a husband beater? Is this some plan Clem and his mother made to push me out of his life? Oh, if my parents were alive, none of this would be happening to me. What am I going to do now? The only man I have ever loved is gone." Judith cried for hours, her heart shattered. Back at Clem's house, Clem was equally devastated. He sat in his room, tears in his eyes, unable to believe his mother would reject Judith. Sensing his pain, Clem's mother called him into her room. "Son," she began, "forget about that girl. She's not the right woman for you. I will find you a beautiful, loyal wife who will respect both of us. Trust me, Clem, I'm your mother. I will never deceive you. Stop crying and look forward to the wonderful wife I will choose for you." Clem, still torn, thought about his mother's words. "She's my mother," he told himself. "I don't want to hurt her feelings. I love Judith, but maybe I should let her go and accept my mother's choice." Months passed, and Judith moved on. She eventually married a wealthy young man who lived abroad. After their grand wedding, she traveled with him to Canada, leaving her heartbreak behind. Meanwhile, Clem married the woman his mother had chosen for him, a kind and beautiful lady named Helen. Their wedding was simple but joyful, and Clem and Helen began their marriage life together. They shared laughter and love, making Clem's mother initially happy. But as time went on, Clem's mother started feeling left out. Clem and Helen spent most of their time together, talking and laughing, and his mother felt neglected. She would often watch them with jealousy in her heart. One day, as Helen sat in her room, she thought about the tension in the house. This woman is doing too much, she muttered to herself. She's always staring at me with those eyes whenever I'm with my husband. She doesn't know who I am. I will show her why they call me Helen. She will regret ever crossing me. Helen's mind was set, and she began to plan her next move. Little did she know the days ahead would bring challenges neither she nor Clem's mother could predict. One day, as Clem's mother sat in the living room, deep in thought about the tension in her home, Helen stormed in, her voice cutting through the air like a knife. "Old fool," Helen shouted. "Why won't you just die already? You are sitting here jealous of how I relate with my precious husband. Let me warn you, old witch, if you don't stop, I will kill you myself. You think you can mess with me? Do you even know who I am? Go back to my village and ask about Helen. You didn't ask the right questions before forcing your son to marry me. Now I will show you what I'm made of, old fool." Clem's mother sat frozen, shocked and heartbroken by Helen's words. She couldn't believe the woman she had recommended for her son to marry could say such things. Moments later, Clem walked in and found his mother crying. Alarmed, he rushed to her side and asked what had happened. Through tears, she recounted everything Helen had said. Clem's anger fled, and he immediately confronted Helen. "Why would you insult my mother like that?" Clem demanded. Helen, unbothered, stood up and smirked without warning. She punched Clem's face hard and slapped him repeatedly, leaving him dazed. She beat him so badly that Clem had to be hospitalized. While lying in the hospital bed, Clem cried every day, consumed by regret. "Why did I listen to my mother and leave Judith?" he lamented. "If I hadn't, none of this would have happened." When Clem was discharged and returned home, he sat with his mother, both trying to make sense of their tragic situation. Suddenly, Helen stormed in again, her voice filled with venom. "You two had better mind your business in this house," she yelled. "Another beating is coming if you keep interfering with my affairs. And you," she said, pointing at Clem's mother, "if you don't stop poking your nose into my marriage, I will help you die faster, old witch." Hearing these cruel words, Clem's mother clutched her chest, gasping for air. She collapsed and died from a heart attack right in front of Clem. Clem was devastated. He cried uncontrollably, mourning the loss of the only family he had left. Consumed by anger and grief, Clem called the police. Helen was arrested and later sentenced to years in prison for abusing an elderly woman to death. Clem buried his mother with a heavy heart, mourning her every day. He regretted ever listening to her advice to leave Judith, the true love of his life. "If only I had married Judith," he thought, "none of this would have happened." From that day, Clem vowed never to marry again until he could fully heal from the tragedies that had shattered his life. Moral lessons. 1. Choose wisely in relationships. Decisions made under pressure or for the wrong reasons can lead to lifelong regrets. Follow your heart, but with wisdom. 2. Respect and kindness matter. Always treat elders with respect and avoid harboring jealousy or hatred, as they can lead to devastating consequences. 3. Actions have consequences. Helen's abuse behavior led to her downfall, proving that cruelty never goes unpunished. 4. Regret teaches painful lessons. Clem's story reminds us to think carefully about the choices we make, as some mistakes cannot be undone. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this story. Your support means the world to me. If you enjoy this content and want to see more captivating stories, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell. Stick with me for more engaging and meaningful tales. Your subscription helps me create more of the stories you love. Thank you for being part of this journey.